Hi guys and welcome. Apologies, I'm going to do a voice over on these earlier pieces. It will change halfway through the video, but we're just basically trying to start painting these 52 Genestealer hybrids. What I'm doing to start with, I've basically sprayed them with Mechanica Standard Grey, tried to do a Zenithal highlight with Grey Seer, so the usual standard that I've done before on other videos, and now what I'm doing is to, if you just noticed there, very quickly dry brush some white scar. This will allow the contrast paints to go over quick, because we are wanting to paint these as quick as we possibly can. Next up, we're going to be painting the contrast paint Nasdrag Yellow. We're going to be doing that into the cloth. Now that's just mainly going to be on the upper cloth. The lower sections I'm going to be doing a different colour. I'm using an older medium, no, it's a small base brush, just trying to get maximum control. And if you can see, hopefully you can see from some of the images that it actually, with the dry brush and everything else, it's picking it out quite well. Next up, I just got a small dry brush and dry brush some Flash Gits Yellow very lightly across some of the sections. This was just to pick out, just to highlight again some of the edges. It didn't really have the ultimate colour for me, so I just did. It's very quick, very easy, because of course we are just doing all of the cloth and we're just trying to get it done as quick as we possibly can. Next endeavour, of course, is to put on the grey. Now I'm using Griff Charger Grey. Apologies, I'm not, just my hand. I'm just using Griff Charger Grey, and I'm using a medium shade brush, and I also use a small basing brush. I do love this colour. This is one of my favourite contrast paints, if I'm honest. It goes on well, I don't really need to do much after. Next up, I just applied Dark Oak Flesh all over any exposed flesh areas. I used a small base brush, but a brand new small base brush with a nice fine tip to be able to do this. Now I'm just dry brushing Cadian Flesh Tone using a small, well, it's more of a homemade small dry brush, just putting it all over, just the actual flesh areas, just to make it, pick it out and make it look a bit different. On to the next stage, basically using a small base brush and the medium shade brush again, we're going to be adding contrast black onto the booted areas and any other areas that we require. We're just going to be keeping the cloth clean for now. So, back to my usual ways of doing things. I know I've sped up the beginning of this one, but situations meant that I had to. So, the next lot, now we've got all the black boots and the black gloves painted, we are now going to be painting up the silver. I've already done that one, as you can probably see. We're going to paint all the weapons, any emblems, so anything that looks like that, and of course I'm going to put bits of silver on the boots. Now the boots I'm really just going to ignore when it comes to highlighting the silver. There's a particular reason for that in a moment, but yeah, we're basically just going to get some silver on the weapons, on the emblems, and on the grenades at the back, and we're going to be coating those in other contrasts. So get your brush, get your music on, get whatever else you're doing while you're in isolation, not that, you cheeky sods, and try to leave, just so you know, any strappings, leave them as white as you possibly can. I know we're going to be going back over that in a moment, but try and leave those just white. If you do go over them though, it's not the end of the world. It's just that's going to be easier for squad identification later on. Alright, just a light bit, sorry about that guys. Right, so next step, we've got all the silver painted. We're going to now hit everything with some Nuln Oil. So I'm just going to grab a miniature just so you can see. And basically on your basic guys, I'm wanting you to, are you in focus there? I'm wanting you to do the weapons, any symbols, and of course things like that. But I'm wanting you to leave the ones, the buckles on the legs alone. We're not going to be painting those up. So one of the next steps we're actually coming to is we're going to have to do a bit of pre-prep. We're going to have to use some of our smaller brushes, some nice tips on. Just move this knife out of the way, and basically we're going to be looking at each model, And if it's got goggles or it's got claws, we need to make sure that the model is put to one side, because the goggles we're going to be painting with this. If there's anything on the face as well, because I know one of the models has like a face mask, so like him there, as you can see, he's got a face mask on there. That's it. So that's going to need to, if it needs painting. So what we're doing is we're getting the paint ready and we're going to be checking. And then anything with a tongue we can leave, or actually no, I'll tell you what, yeah, anything with a tongue as well. So what I'm doing is just going through, having a look. Does it have a tongue? Does it have claws? Does it have anything on the face? No, right, so that gets put to one side. Let's move some of this stuff. That's got a tongue, so that comes to this side. That's got goggles. Goggles and face. Goggles. Tongue. None of the above. And basically you're just going to go through. Now once you've gone through, quickly show you what I'm doing. Let's see if we can find one with a claw as well. Actually, yep, there you go. So anything with a claw, I am going over that claw with white. Now I've thinned this down, so you might need to go over them a couple of times. So you can see me doing that. So the claw I've gone over. I've gone over the actual claw pieces in white, and the reason we're going to go over them in white is when we put, we're going to be using the flesh colour again on the claw, but because it's white it should make it stand out very different. I might even just use a, well, I do have a reason. And then see, he's got a claw as well, actually, I didn't realise. So if he's got both, the tongue, painting with a grey sear. Again, you'll have to do multiples. And then the claws. Painting with the white. So go through, figure out everybody. And then all the masks as well. And all the goggles. We're going to be painting that with grey sear. So what we're doing is prepping, but have a look at the masks and goggles and see if they need it. For example, that mask to me doesn't need it. Still got quite a lot of the recess, but the goggles they do. So I'm just going to go, oh, nearly. I'm just going to go over the goggles with the grey sear. We're just kind of prepping the area ready to put some extra contrast on, which is what we're going to be doing afterwards. But we're making sure that everyone's ready. Go over and have a look through your figures twice, and there's a reason for that, because I'll tell you now, you will miss some, and then you'll curse yourself when it comes to it that you've missed some. Now I've made this grey here very watery. I might need to go back, thicken it up a little. And while you're doing this as well, you could probably try and neaten up any of the sashes. We are going to be painting those with a completely different colour later. Right, so put them to one side, get cracking. So the next point, I've got all my greens, my reds, they've all been done now. What we're going to be doing, I've already done one, we're going to be using a wet palette to try and get some of these leather and these straps and everything else, that's for reference, finished. So basically anything, as you can hopefully see, anything like this, that, any sort of little bits of strap, if there's any sort of straps holding, if there's anything like armbands, or leave them. Well, you can paint them if you want. I'm going to be actually colouring mine. I'm going to show that on the camera. I'm going to be colouring mine for squad identification. So basically we're going to be, you get your bestial brown Rhinox hide, and we're just going to sort of paint those in. Nice and smooth. We're going to get some of the scrag brown, and I've kind of watered it down a little bit more, so it's just a little bit thin, and then we're just going to touch the edges of some of that, and then on here we're just going to try and edge highlight as best we can. Don't worry too much about it. If it's watch it. And then once all this is dried, we are going to actually add some Agrax Earth Shade. So I'm hoping that this one is dry so I can show you guys. And we coat over the leather section or brown section in the egg racks. And once that's dry, it gives you a nice leather feel, and I do have to come back and do the strap, but you can even do the actual straps that go across. Like I say, I'm keeping hold of them till later. I'm going to be painting those up as squad markings. And there you go, some finished Genestealer cult models. This is orange squad because I've actually done up all the squads into different colours, and there's a red, a blue, a purple, and you'll always see those if you go over to my Instagram page. Right, well, that's it. I mean, you can see I've added some little extras, some little bits on the guns, but all in all, it's all good. And all you need to do really is, next couple of weeks I'm going to have some videos just showing you some of the other stuff, including a retro flamer that I've done as well. So keep an eye out for those, and please like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.